All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome. I don't know if you guys can hear this amazing classic music that I have jamming over here, but check it out. Shane, good to see you. Glad you're here. He says, "Hell yeah." So George, how is the hunting going? You're in a tree stand, right? Guys like that mug? Outpost Gray. That's right. New logo happening. Didn't catch anything, George? It's a bum. I've never, surprisingly, everybody, I've never hunted in my life. Well, I've hunted for the military. It's a different type of hunting. And you guys learned that a little bit about my background, but that's not why you're here today. You are here to learn about LinkedIn branding and networking. All right, we're going to kick it off here in just a few more seconds. I know it just hit the top of the hour, but I know that I was just in the main stage, and I know that Tom was over there chatting it up. So I want to make sure that I let you all have enough time to get on in and make this happen. So what has been the best part of everybody's Saturday morning? I made a French press. It was amazing. If you guys saw my LinkedIn post, that was with Colombian coffee directly from Colombia. It was amazing. I had a friend that went to Colombia, brought me back coffee. And I mean, what better coffee can you have? I guess Brazilian coffee. Is Brazil good? I think Brazil is known for coffee, right? So I'm really amped too, because I don't drink that much coffee. And now I had a French press and the coffee is like motor oil, but it's so good. So I'm oh, hey, Camille. Speaking of my Colombian friend, oh my gosh, it's good to see you in chat. It's awesome. Yeah, Camille's the one that went to Colombia, brought me back some amazing coffee. So it was delicious. I've literally drank the entire French press. So this is going to be a wild talk. Nice. Cafe Bistelo is actually pretty good too. Bistelo. I don't know if I said that right, George. All right, everyone. So let's get into it. I know we've got 45 minutes and we're going to be doing some roast partway through this. So that's going to be awesome. It's going to be fun. I know roast may sound kind of intimidating and we're going to kind of, go through, review your profiles in real time to provide you feedback to help you up level your game on LinkedIn. And that's what we're going to be talking about today is how to leverage an amazing tool, LinkedIn, to be able to up-level yourself, to be able to network, to grow your following. But more importantly, and if you're in here and you're trying to break into the industry, then this talk is for you because LinkedIn is such a powerful tool for you to be able to leverage. And especially if you're introverted, because you may not believe it, but I am actually very introverted. And I have been able to leverage LinkedIn to grow my brand. And also, I have found my best friends. Literally, I have a couple of best friends on LinkedIn that I met through LinkedIn. Erica McDuffie is one of them. She's a co-host on my podcast, Two Cyber Checks. We met through LinkedIn. Kimberly McKnight, Gerald Ozier, individuals like that. So it's a great platform. Can't say enough about it. So let's get into it. And I'll quit jaw-jacking. I think that's what they say in the military, jaw-jacking about this. Let me get my shared screen. All right. So let me know if you can see the slide deck. I sometimes have technical issues, but you should be able to see it. If you can't, oh, speaking of Kimberly McKnight up in the house, what? We got the fam up in here. I am loving it. Stuart, I love to see you. Good morning. Good morning. Actually, good afternoon to you, Stuart. Coming in, calling in. Jordan, I love it. Oh, you guys are the best. Odinel, I hope I said that right. Great to see you here. All right. And really quick, if you've already told me that you want me to, Joe and I, to review your profiles, I have them on a document. I'm tracking it. But if you have not given me your LinkedIn profile, drop it in the chat. Joe, if you're still back there, you can grab that link for me. If not, we'll grab it once we get to that section. So let's kick this off. Great. You guys can see this. Awesome. So what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about branding. Is it worth it? Why should you brand in the age that we're in right now? How to do it, providing you tips and tricks to put in your toolkit to help you with your LinkedIn branding. And then number 3 should be revised. It's not really examples. We're going to be roasting. So we're going to be going through and we're going to be reviewing real world LinkedIn profiles. And then we're going to have, with any limited time at the end during the roast and also questions throughout, please drop your questions in chat. I typically try to answer them as we're going through, but do me a favor so I can catch them. Put a capital Q at the start. Just put a capital Q, colon, your question. It just makes it easier for me to be able to see it. But if you don't, no worry, we'll still try to catch them for you. Ron. Oh, Brad. Hey, good morning. Good morning. Good to see you all. So nice. Anybody that doesn't know Brad or Ron, definitely connect with them. Very good individuals to have in your network within the cybersecurity industry. Really, everybody in the chat should be connecting with one another. So you all should drop your LinkedIn profiles in the chat and network with one another. Do it. All right. So I made this quote up, because everybody always has a quote from somebody. So I was like, I'm just going to make my own quote. And this is how I feel. We live in a technology-filled world where millions of dollars are made by leveraging who we are and what we know. And that's how what I'm going to teach you today is to leverage the knowledge that you have right now, even if you're not maybe in the cybersecurity space. So a little bit about me, full-time cybersecurity manager. I'm a consulting at a large consulting firm. I'm also the founder of Outpost Gray. Outpost Gray. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, thank you to Kimberly McKnight for the new graphic right there. Amazing work. Also a blogger whenever I have my spare time to do that. And I still serve in the military. I just recently moved into working with CyberCom, and I have roughly about 18 years serving special ops, electronic warfare, and cyber. I am a warrant officer, a unicorn. Podcast, Two Cyber Chicks. Go check us out. You'll love it. And I also co-authored a book called Cybersecurity Career Master Plan. It's really designed to help you with breaking into the industry, or for those individuals that maybe are in their early stages of their career and maybe want to pivot. So definitely go check that out. If you can't afford the book or you'd like to get it in a different way, reach out to me. I can definitely hook you up with PDF because I'm all about supporting the community and helping you guys get to that next level without charging you. So definitely reach out. And then, in my free time, I go to graduate school full time, and I should be graduating spring 2023 with basically it's a GRC degree. Love it. And a big cat lover, avid hiker. Woo. All right. So let's get into it. Is branding worth it? Short answer, yes. But I'm going to talk to you about the top 4 reasons why you should be branding right now. The first reason, it's a great tool. When you start branding, you get a lot of following, you're creating influence. And I'm going to use that word a lot throughout this, but influence is key here. When you create that influence within your specific area, within your specific community, recruiters see that. And Joe Hudson, who's going to be coming on later, who is a principal lead recruiter, is going to be talking to you about why it's important to outline your profile in a certain way, because it gives you power for negotiating for a job. It tells a bigger story than maybe your resume can tell. So it's definitely a great tool to have, and it helps you with that negotiation piece. It also creates trust within the community. And what I mean by that is I think there's a study that it takes somebody to see you post about something or write about something or talk about something. I think it's either like 5 to 7 times before they start seeing you as a subject matter expert. So when you're creating your brand and you're putting content out, you're creating trust within your community that you know the topic that you're talking about. So it's credibility within that field, which goes into having that influence. And then the third is, and we all know this, it's networking, but it's also to network. And I'm really big on this, giving back to the community, learning a way of like, how can I network, but changing that mindset and using LinkedIn as a way of like, how can I give back to the community? Because I promise you, if you take the mindset of like giving back, you'll be surprised at how quickly your brand, your following grows, and you actually start curating a community that's very like-minded like you, because the energy you put out is the energy you're going to get back from your community. And then the last thing is financial value. Strong brands create future opportunities. I truly see this. Like, think of any type of brand that, you've got like Coca-Cola, Nike, other brands out there. They have a financial value to that name because of the credibility that they've created, because of the trust that they created within the community. So it gives you that additional value added to who you are and the brand that you provide. And I want to cover, though, some of the reasons that you might be holding you back. So why would you not brand? And I think this is really critical to address outside of just like go out there and brand, because it's really scary. It can be I was really afraid because I've had a couple of different brands in my life, and a couple of them did not take off at all. I had another brand called Tactical Divas. I ran a company in Las Vegas. I had a shooting, my FFL license. I took women out. I taught them how to shoot. I gave self-defense classes. The brand never took off. You would think that having been in a space where I've been on social media platforms, I would not have fear of rebranding myself in the cybersecurity space, but I did. And it is really scary. But you just remember, Oprah has haters. So you're always going to have haters. And I have a quote that's right up here that reminds me every day. And it says, it's harder to create and innovate than it is to criticize and judge. So really get out of your own fear, get out of your own way, and you got to just lean into it. Not an expert. This goes into imposter syndrome, and especially in the cybersecurity space. I mean, God, there's so much information, is there not? And you just really think like, why should I be talking about this? Am I really a subject matter expert? And you think, I don't know enough, I shouldn't be putting information out there. That's probably one of the top things I hear from people about branding, specifically within the technology space. But I can tell you right now, you have a unique view. So I would encourage you, put the information out there. It's okay to not be a absolute 100% expert. Nobody is, I promise you. Secret. No, none of us feel like we're an expert. And if you do, maybe you are, maybe you're a narcissist, who knows? But we all have those feelings, I promise you. And then not creative. This is another thing I hear is like, I'm not really creative, because it is really, when I started my YouTube channel a little over a year ago, it's like, God, how am I going to come up with the content? But I can tell you, once you start going, it is a snowball effect, and you will find that creative flow that you need. So just believe that it will come. If you build it, they will come. Who knows that movie? It's like The Field of Angels, I think. Oh my God. Woo, dating myself probably there. All right. And then the last thing, failure, fear of failure. Do you know that other brands that I created just completely tanked? I even had a TM, a trademark, and I still have the trademark. I had a t-shirt company. I had all the things. I pushed for like, God, 3.5 years, 4 years. Oh, well, you try, you fail, you try again. Everything that I've learned from in my past has made me stronger today. Failure is a part of life. If you're not failing, in my opinion, you're not trying hard enough. You're not pushing yourself past your limits and feeling like really, really uncomfortable. So fail, get out there and see failure as a way to like succeed and get better. I'm looking in the chat really quick. Let me see. Field of Dreams. Yeah, it is. It's Field of Dreams. Who knew? Was that not the like most moving movie ever? I'm checking really quick, everybody, to see if there's any questions. I love it, you guys. I love that you guys dropped your LinkedIn. I hope you all have connected with one another. Make that happen. Joe is the bestest. He has all the insights. I concur with you, Kimberly. I love it. Yeah, Clifton. Field of Dreams. Jordan, Field of Dreams. Shane. You guys are awesome. Matthew, Patrick. You guys are amazing. Okay. I'm jumping back into it. All right. Yes, George, failure is only quitting for good. Everything else is just expected. I think that's what you had for EXP, expected. Yep. Odnell, no. Next opportunity, 100%. That's what I say. All right. So picture is worth 1,000 words. We've heard this all the time. So why in the heck do we have crappy profile pictures and banners? Like, what are they saying about you? And we're going to talk about this as we go into the roast and the profile picture, and talk about your profile picture. Couple of tips that I'm going to provide you right now. And I think I have a thing about it. Yep, I did. I created a slide about it. So here's some major tips for your profile and your banner picture. Okay. Profile picture, avoid granular photos. You know who you are. If your photo is crappy, get rid of it. Get something else in there. I'd rather you not even have a photo than a really cruddy granular photo. Also, get a current photo. What I mean by that, if you have a photo that's like 10 years old and you don't look like your photo, it's really off-putting when somebody hops on a call with you and they're like, wow, you don't look anything like your photo. So I would encourage you to get a current photo. But at least if it's not current, make sure it's not granular. And then I encourage, you can do what you want, but I recommend no military photos. It pigeonholes you into this particular area, like this pocket when recruiters are looking, and Joe can correct me on this or not, but when they immediately see military, there's already misconceptions that they may already make about you because of having a military photo instead of, say, a professional headshot within there. Again, my personal opinion, I used to have a military photo. This was feedback that I received, and I changed mine to a more professional headshot. So that's, again, my recommendation. You don't have to do it, but I would encourage it. But definitely no cap and gown graduation photos. There's a lot of these, like wedding photos. The cap and gown ages you. So say you're trying to break into the industry, you just graduated from college, you're really excited, you graduated from a prestigious tech school, you have a cap and gown. Well, recruiters are going to see you as a college student. So that's the perception that you're putting out there. So really think about what is the story, what story are you telling within your profile photo? I think Kimberly McKnight does a really good job in her photo. I think it's actually here. You can see what she does. She has a very nice, like, clean background, and she even has the logo of her company in her photo. And it tells a story just by looking at her photo. You can already see, like, you can already look at it and be like, oh, what is that? You want to go and explore what is Cybersecurity Central. So think about that. And then you can also, because some of you might be security conscious, like myself, you can hide your profile photo unless you've allowed somebody to become friends with you. So just keep that in mind. If you're somebody that's like, well, I don't even want a photo, you can also do that as well. And then for your banner photo, again, high quality is important. I believe Canva offers, like Canva, and you can correct me on this, Kimberly, Canva offers like a free version, and you can do banner photos in there. I pay for that. I love it. I use it on everything, but they actually have templates that you can use to create a high quality banner photo for free. Also, if you have a website or a company, you want that clearly stated on your profile. Make it as easy for individuals to see. And then reflect your passion, coding, writing, like coding, if it's blogging, and then use the space. Don't not use the space. It is a place that recruiters will see immediately when they're looking. They will see that, they will see your profile, and they will see your header. And we'll talk about headers. So let's do some tips and tricks. And we're going to cruise through this because I just see it's 11:17. So I'm going to speed this up because I really want to get into some of the roasts. And I know you guys do as well, because I think that's going to be really good for hands-on stuff. So right here for the first one, use a featured section in your profile. And we're going to talk about this a little later. Also, change from your regular mode to a creator mode. I'll show you how to do that. Update your services section. I'm also going to show you that in the next slides. And then headlines that sell you. And I'll show you how to do that. And the rest of these are just good tips to have, like post between 8 to 10 a.m., your time. This research has identified this is great for the algorithm. That's typically when people are getting on and looking at LinkedIn posts. You really also want to engage with other posts. It's quality versus quantity. Instead of saying like great post, add in why you think it was a great post. I see the good rule of thumb is typically 3 to 4 sentences about somebody's post. Really goes a lot further than like 2 or 3 words. And then hanger sentences, that is where when you make a post, they see the first line and they have to click more to see the rest of it. The algorithm will catch that and your post will stay higher longer. And then add a URL in the comments, not in the actual post itself. When you add a URL into the actual post, it will typically, the algorithms will drop your posting lower because they don't want to take people off of the platform. And these last two are just kind of things that as we go to the right, try to like not to do. So tagging the same people again and again, random content with no purpose, random memes, things like that. Editing your post after, you really want to try to avoid this because it'll mess up the algorithm, make you drop lower. And then over tagging your company, they can see it as spam. And then the last are just try to avoid over tagging or hashtagging too many. To me, 3 is the number that's supposed to be the best number of hashtags for a post. Editing posts after they're posted for 2 hours. And then sharing with no content, blank or little. So you're resharing somebody's content without putting your thoughts into it. And then just being unprofessional or political. LinkedIn is not a political platform. And you'll notice if people try to post political stuff, they'll get chastised. All right, so let's talk about some example LinkedIn headlines. Good rule of thumb, and this is how you can outline it. Keyword for role, industry, unique value, like your unique value. And Cooper says hi. My cat is the best. Hi, Cooper. Okay, now you just see his tail. Whatever. He's like camera shy. All right, so here are some example headlines of individuals that have quite a few following. Yeah, quite a few followers. So you'll see the top one right here, cybersecurity project manager, AWS certified cloud practitioner, and take a screenshot of these. These are great examples. The second one is a dear friend of mine, Jerry Osiers. His is very like YouTube heavy. He's a big influencer in the space. I would encourage you to reach out, to, like connect with him. But that's why his looks the way it does. This one right here. This one right here, gosh, Neil Bridges, another really good friend of mine, mentor, really big in the community, has a large following. This is how he has his broken out. You see how that each of them kind of break out each section. It really breaks it up versus having like commas. And then this, oh, look at Cybersecurity Central. Who could that be? Kimberly McKnight. Again, love the little bullet in between, breaking it out. And you'll notice like, and I don't have the time, unfortunately, to show you this, but when recruiters are looking for applicants or individuals for a job, the only thing they will see is your profile photo and this header right here. So capture them as soon as you can and draw them in a way versus aspiring cybersecurity practitioner. Try to avoid words like that as like future or not in it or like retired military sergeant major, something like that. You can see like what I liked about this individual is he had US veteran, and you'll on my profile, I have my veteran status, one of the last things. So I let them know that, but it's not one of the first things that I put bottom line up front. Oh, thank you for sharing Jerry to Oshers. It's awesome. He's great. He's great, guys. Okay, so the featured section. What is the featured section and why should I care about it? Well, just to know, and we'll talk about this, I think, in the next slide, is when you move to creator mode, your feature section actually gets moved up. Like your profile shifts a little bit around. And this features section is just what it is. It's feature. You can have it as a featured area of your content. You can highlight your accomplishments. You can actually, like one of these, this right here, the second one, that was posted by somebody else. So I can actually highlight posts that are by somebody else. This one right here, this first one, this was an interview that I did on Fox News. I wanted to highlight it because I think that it was a really good interview. It highlights my ability to speak on the news. It also highlights my military background of what I'm talking about. And I want to get follow-on speaking engagements. I'm gonna highlight that. This other one here is my website, and then you can see this pink thing right here. That is my Two Cyber Chicks podcast. This post likely, these two will probably, I usually rotate these out because when you go on my page, you're only gonna see the first 3.5, just to let you know. So these first 3 are gonna like, what do you want them to see? I know if they go to my website, they're gonna learn more about me if they click on this page. You can also link external pages here, like your YouTube page. I have, if you go to the right, you can get a link to my book. So it'll take you to Amazon. And then it just provides more context outside of the available fields that you see within your LinkedIn profile. And now let's talk about like the services and about section, which another area that's really, really helpful for you to be able to tell your story. So the services is this, you'll see this within the website, within your profile, the top part of your profile. You can, and if you need to like walk through an example of this, I will actually, hold on. Let me do this. I'm dropping this in here. This is for creator mode. So check this out. Bam. Yeah, so check that out. That'll help walk you through on some of these things. So, and not provided services, it's just overall creator mode. To do, just Google, how do I set up providing services on LinkedIn? It'll walk you through this, but it helps for basically making you more searchable. Also, your about section, don't make it a resume. Talk about stuff. If you look at my profile, I'm like telling a story about cybersecurity, and it's a paragraph long of my thoughts and my reason why I'm in the sector, what we need to do, how do we need to secure our critical infrastructure. Thanks, Lester. I appreciate that. It should cost tons of money, but you know what? I love giving back. Love it. So definitely look into those. Oh gosh, you guys, you don't even see what's happening over here. I just locked my screen. Accidentally hit a hot button. Oh, good. And I think I just forgot my password. Hold on. I remembered it just then. Okay, we're back. I hit a hot button. The corner right of my screen locks my entire computer up. It's awesome. All right, so let's talk about how to engage better. We're going to cruise through this because I want to get into the profile. So let's go. All right, so how to engage better. First thing, don't over message. Do not over message individuals on LinkedIn if you're direct messaging them. Message them, wait a week or two, message them back, follow up. People are busy. If you over message, you turn people off, you're going to get blocked. I would encourage you to first follow before connect. When you follow somebody, they don't have to accept you. When you connect, and if they don't know you, they may not accept your connection. But if you follow them, and I'll show you what you can do and how you can engage with them. If you follow them, you'll start seeing their content. You can engage in their content. You become value added, and then you can connect with them. It's just an approach. Again, engage and provide quality. It's all about quality on this platform, especially within those comments. And then use the bell. A lot of people don't know about this little feature. Oh God, you guys can't see what I'm sharing. Hold on. Coming back. I wasn't even looking at the screen. I'm back over here. All right, cool. Okay, so use the bell to monitor the post. Right here, this is what I'm showing you all. This right here, it's after you follow somebody. So you've got to follow them and then the bell appears and then you can click on the bell. So anytime Stefan, another individual you all should follow, amazing. I'm going to be sharing some of his content and I was sharing a little bit of it earlier actually. This will tell me anytime he post anything. And so it allows me, if I'm trying to engage somebody and get more involved with like a particular industry that I know this person's in, this is a great way of doing it. You'll get alerted when they post. You can go in and you can engage with their post. Great tool. Message with okay, so when you're DMing somebody, make sure you personalize it. Don't just send an empty message. If they don't know you especially, personalize the message. Doesn't have to be super long. Couple of sentences. It can even, like this event, say, hey, I'm at VetSecCon, saw you were attending the event, would love to connect with you. Now you found that commonality and that connection and you can make it happen. And then I'm all about asking how you can better support them. We're all really busy. It's about giving back, and you'll notice your network will grow and your community will grow just by giving back and working with one another. And then we just talked about this, but how to engage better with your followers is turning on that creator mode. And then you can create a video with your profile photo versus just having a photo. And you have another, I think it's 30 seconds. You guys can go look at mine. And it's 30 seconds of, again, content that you can put out there and tell more about your story. Yeah, Kimberly, I was just thinking KevTech. Yeah. Hey, KevTech. Good to see you here. Always need you. Me and my screen issues. Thank God we're not having audio issues, though. Yay. You guys need to connect with KevTech. Has a massive following on YouTube. Again, another big contributor to the community. Love your stuff, Kev. Oh, and we're gonna be doing some collaboration in 2023. So I'm looking forward to that. Okay, so why creator mode? What's so cool about this? Why should I shift over? And these are some of the reasons why. And I shared the link with you all for creator mode, and I'll do it again in case anybody just hopped in and maybe didn't get the link. But I would encourage you, check this out. Really, you're rocking over there. Thank you for dropping all the links. Oh, whoops. Nope, go back. All right. So LinkedIn algorithm. All right. It'll affect the LinkedIn algorithm specifically for your page, and it's designed to help you grow your following. So that's the point of it. As soon as you click on it, it allows you to keep your profile photo, but add a video. I think you even get a little blue border around your profile. It provides you additional tooling, and some of the tooling is listed here. You're able to send connection requests, and the individuals that follow you. So if you go to my page, you'll see, if you haven't followed me, you'll see follow versus connect. Now you can connect. There's you have to do a drop down and go in and connect. But the thing is I could deny your connection if I wanted to, which I don't, and you would still be following me. And the reason that people do this is there's a limited amount of connections that you can have. I don't know what the number is. I think it's 100,000. I don't have to worry about that right now. So that's why they created just follow, because you can have unlimited amount of followers. So keep that in mind. And then it also, and we talked about this, it moves and highlights your content by moving your feature and your activity to the first on your profile. And you're also able to add a link to the introduction section of your profile. Oh, we're almost done. All right. So let's talk about and wrap this up and get into profiles. How do you set yourself apart? Let's be authentic, everyone. I know it can be really scary, But being authentic is the key on LinkedIn. I'm telling you, it works. Share a little bit about who you are, what your journey has looked like, what does your struggles look like, and it will resonate with the community and people will follow you and want to support you. And then again, and I've said it over and over again, give back. Ask people how you can help them. How can you give back to the community? And I promise you, it comes back. I've seen it myself. It comes back tenfold every time. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Joe Hudson, Principal Recruiting Lead. It is roast time. Woo! Joe, welcome. Welcome to the show.
It looks just like me. I was distracted. I was reading this book that I found laying around on my shelf. But no, this master plan you guys have the best chapter actually in there. That's not, aside from the cyber stuff, is that it's like 25, 26 pages on branding, and it goes into Discord and LinkedIn and YouTube and like literally everything. I've actually learned a lot from that and learned from this video today.
This right here. Woo. Yeah, this right here. I actually wrote the social media section of the book. So if you guys check it out, it does. Kimberly, I think, even started putting in some of the tips and tricks, implementing them into her own social media stuff. And stuff works. I mean, it's really cool about this because I timestamped some of the things in here, and you'll see that Jerry had like 8,000 followers or something when we did this, because I used him as an analogy, and the guy has like 50,000 now, like in 1 year. It's wild on his YouTube and his LinkedIn. So
not enough. It's not enough.
No, not enough.
For a guy like that, he deserves everybody.
He's amazing. Yeah. You guys all need to follow Jerry. All right. I'm pulling up the first. All right. So, all right. What are we doing, everyone? We are going to be doing some roasting with Joe. Joe, do you want to quickly share a little bit about your background and like why I decided to be like, get some Joe Hudson on here? Yeah. Share a little bit about it. Love it.
I think I was probably like the only one that was available. So joined in, but no, I'm Joe Hudson. I work with a company called HuntSource. It is cybersecurity focused. It's been talent solutions, a lot of different ways to solve the problems of hiring in cybersecurity, more so than just filling a job. But at the end of the day, that's what we do. And I think most of my time and experience, and I'll call it passion. I don't know if I'm passionate about giving advice. I don't think that's the right words. But the problems that people face within hiring, I'm passionate about trying to wrap my head around those, even on Saturdays. So that's why I'm here. I just found out actually on LinkedIn last week that when you click my name, it just says follow. And I didn't even know that. Some kid at a conference handed me his phone and said, "Hey, can you find you?" And I didn't even know that it said that. I just thought it said connect. And I said, "So you can't message me then if you just follow me?" And he said, "No." And I was like, "Well, let me see if I can figure out how to change this." But your point that you made today is excellent about the follow first. Also, if someone can see that you're following them, they're going to be more likely to probably want to connect with you. So I get it there, actually. I guess for me personally, I've never felt like a follow guy.
Oh yeah, you're a follow guy.
But this is you dropped some serious knowledge bombs today. I learned 3 or 4 things that I actually was not exposed to before. So very cool.
Yay! That's awesome. All right, I love it. Okay, Michael, I think that's how you said. I grabbed your LinkedIn, so we're good there. Oh yeah, let me grab Kevin's, and then let's kick this off. If you guys keep dropping, I'll come back and check it out. But I've got a good list over here. So the first person, let's get this up. The first person is going to be good old George. All right. So before we kick this off, just to let you guys know, the purpose of this is to provide you all real-time feedback from an individual that looks at these types of pages, profiles for recruiting. So I thought Joe was the great person for this. So we're going to kind of go through these fairly quickly so we can get through as many as possible. So keep dropping your link in there. So yeah, let's talk through this. What do you think about like overall first glance at George's profile?
Well, it looks like he's put some work into it. And I think that is important when you're looking at someone that is trying to be serious about their job navigation or their presence and their interactions on here. Something that I don't know if, a lot of people have talked about that I just realized the moment you pulled up his profile, 118 mutual connections, right? When I've been in the security space now for 5+ years and I've built a great network of people, I do like to see how many shared connections do I have with this person. And I'll be able to kind of go through that. To me is something that I will take, I'll give some credibility to, but what you talked about with that headline earlier, when you're scrolling through profiles and you see just a name, a picture, and then whatever that content is, Don't put aspiring. I totally agree. I used to think that that was actually a good thing to put, and I realized nope. I would skip a lot of profiles for aspiring because I know I can't be
Hmm.
looking for that person for my jobs. If it just says you're a cybersecurity professional, I'm much more likely to grab it.
Hmm. 100%. What do you think about the profile photo?
Well, if that's what he looks like today, like you said, good.
Okay.
I
I
think
like it.
that when judging through this camera, I'm not sure how clear that is, but I
It's
looked
pretty
at his
clear.
profile, the other day, and it looked clear.
Yeah, it's super clear.
Um, so I think it also depends on what kind of persona do you want to put out. Some
Yep.
people don't smile in pictures. Some people don't want to smile. I think if you smile, it naturally just looks like you're a happier, friendlier person to reach out to.
Yeah.
And so that's something that is a personal choice. But
Yep. Yeah, I agree with you on the smiling. It's more enticing, but if you're not a
Mhm.
smiling person, you obviously want to be authentic as you can. But I always encourage, even if it's a smirk. But George, I think this is good. I think like you can tell this top headline, it doesn't provide, like, you don't have like information in there about like who you are, but it tells me immediately that you're within a cybersecurity space or a technology space with seeing data
Absolutely.
breach, cyber attack, protection failed. And I do like the headline, and I like how you have U.S. veteran as one of the
Mhm.
last things on here. Yeah, I like
Yeah,
that.
I see a lot of people that don't put veteran or they don't put their military experience on their resume or their profile, and I think what do you have to lose by putting that? I feel like you only have to gain, and if
Yeah,
someone's not interested in talking with you because you're a veteran, heck with them,
yeah, I
you
agree.
know?
I agree. Put it in there. I like too, because
Mhm.
people don't realize this. You can change out these areas as long as they're current, or even if they're not current, down below, you can like move and readjust what you want to have here. And I like that he has Portsmouth Navy Shipyard. It goes with
Mhm.
like his being in the US Army, but then like my computer career. As a recruiter, do you look at stuff like this? Because this is usually the first two like current jobs or education up here.
I would say that you'll see it, you'll notice it, but you're if you've decided to click on a profile, you're going to spend a few seconds looking at through the whole profile anyways. And when you talk about how LinkedIn positions things now, when you scroll down, you kind of got to scroll for a minute to
Mm.
get to what does this person do. You go through the
Yeah.
activity like you just saw. You go through some of their posts, some of their content that might be shared. So it's sort of forcing you to see what type of person and active profile this is before you even know what they do, which I think actually can be more telling than what they do. I'd want to talk to people that I know are gung ho about this stuff more so than someone that just has done the jobs for years. I like to, you know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
I think I think his profile's got a good, big summary. That I
Yeah.
actually like content. I think that that top part where you can talk about me, it's
Yeah.
the only shot you really have to tell people like the person, not the
Yeah.
professional, not the
Yeah.
job. So I do think utilize that, take advantage of that box for sure. I read almost all of them.
That's awesome. That's good to know. Yeah, and I like how he has currently working on cybersecurity degree, information technology, and you list out the different areas. I think that's really helpful. I like it. I think you
Mhm.
did. I think this is a really good profile, George. Yeah, I think this is really good. You've got your activities. Only thing I would recommend if you're trying to build followers, move to creator mode, and then you can have that area where you can show your highlights of what you, because you don't,
Mhm.
as you can see, you don't have that in here because you don't have it in creator mode. Okay, let's do our next individual. Let me pull it over here. All right. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Um, Marl Vernon. Marl. Oh, I think I'm saying her name wrong. That's okay. Love the
Watched her
Scout.
yesterday. Mhm.
Yep. Big influencer. She spoke yesterday as well. So yeah, first thought, what do you think, Joe?
Well, I think her profile screams personality. It's got a
Yeah.
unique twist to it. When you see Cyber Queens podcast, you see one woman purple team. This is a person that to me is very comfortable in their own skin and someone that is comfortable putting themselves out there and actually really proud of a lot of things that they do, which to me, I want to talk with people that are, putting themselves out there like that. The background picture in contrast with her photo also, I think, works really well.
Hmm.
Not that I'm some graphic designer or anything like that, but it's an attention grabbing profile right off the bat, in my opinion. Again, lots of shared connections. You can see followers. This is a very active person.
Yeah, yeah, and she's got her featured section, which is all I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of stuff. This is her medium post. Yeah, so really good. I like and then you've got her activity. So an activity for everybody. That's like just like her most recent like reshares, repost, or post right here. So you can see how active somebody is. And then, and then her about section, proven purple team program manager and pioneer. I love that. And then just kind of goes into it.
Right.
Yep.
I do think that to kind of go back to the activity as well, it's very important to remember for everyone that that is public and that people can see your activity. And kind of you said earlier, like instead of just saying great post, like people go by and just say congrats. Well, it's really cool to actually see someone congratulating 100 people a week and see that they're very active in saying congrats. But I agree, a little bit something more can separate you and actually get that person's attention. I mean, I remember back in the day when you get your birthday on Facebook, and you're like, do I really need to go check and see that 150 people just wrote HBD or happy birthday? It's kind of like, you know what I mean? So I think having a little bit more involvement in the content is really good, but it's just a reminder people can see what you
do. Solid point. All right, let's go to our next one. I don't know. Michael, are you here today? Michael Liebert. Met Michael just recently. He gave me his profile to share. So yeah, I like this. I don't know about this top banner protecting. I kind of like it, I guess. Protecting our cyber world. It tells me that he's in cybersecurity. What do you think? What's your first instinct on this?
Well, I'd say my first instinct is a little jaded in the sense that he reached out to me with a great note, and it was like a super enthusiastic note. And basically it's like, hey world, I'm coming. I just want to let y'all know I'm coming and I'm going to be a security pro. I just want to introduce myself before I take over, and that's how I felt with a single note that I got from Michael. And I was like, hey man, like, let me know if there's anything I can help with, because I really like that energy. So what I really like is that he's putting in some work. He's got a lot of content in there. And so there are recruiters that are not going to read every word. But what I like is that he's built that up with some of the attention grabbing buzzwords. And then he also has followed up with a note, pretty active and bubbly and engaging personality. And I've had 5 seconds of interactions with Michael. And that was my takeaway already. So that's a big plus to me. Because you're talking about networking. I think LinkedIn is a place where introverts can get away looking extroverted and be a different type of extrovert and get away with it in a comfortable way. And I'm not saying he's introverted, but I'm saying that's a great way to be on LinkedIn, is to 100%. Put yourself out there like that. Super positive.
Yeah, Michael, you also reached out to me. Same thing with your direct message. Couldn't have been better. You well done. I like how you're also highlighting you're in creator mode. You've got your features, like you've got this locked down. This is good. And I love your about section. So yeah, overall, really, really good profile. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that he actually said, I am a guest services expert. He didn't say I'm an aspiring cyber professional. He said, this is what I'm great at. And actually yesterday it was John and Patrick. And then I even heard Meryl talk about it, about basically know what you're good at and be owning of what you're good at. Guest services is a serious lack of, we're lacking guest services within cybersecurity. I mean, people complain about product companies and customer support all the time. So own that. Yeah. I think it's great.
I agree with you. Michael, as far as your, the banner up here, I guess for me, I'm looking at this map and it just says protect your cyber world. I think that it's okay if you don't want to upgrade it, but I feel like maybe you could have something different with this map. I don't know. It just didn't, the first thing I just saw this map and I was just like, oh, I don't know. It doesn't tell me the story, but then I saw protecting your cyber world. But I guess maybe spell it out, like protecting your cyber world. Like, what do you want to do? Red teaming, blue teaming, kind of explaining what that is, because you have it down here. But I really think, Michael, if you kept it the same, this is an outstanding profile. So
I agree with you on that. Actually, though, you're right. I think it's an opportunity maybe to tell more of the story of what you're going for, who you are in the banner. That's a good point, actually, Jax.
Yeah, I'm all about using this space as an opportunity to tell your story, use Canva, use it as a way to tell your story and tell people how to find you, maybe create a link tree or something like that. Yeah. But if you're not a big influencer and this is the only thing you're involved in, that's okay too. Look at it. It is Stuart. And I know Stuart's out in the audience right now. So everybody, Stuart is actually out you're in Scotland, right? Greater Edinburgh area. So great individual to connect with, has a GRC training, awesome in the space. And I love boom, right off the bat, you know exactly where to go for his website. This is what I'm talking about. When you have a site, put it out there and tell them exactly what you're doing. Security policy training and courses, cyber career advice and mentor. So what's your thoughts when you, oh, and he has a video. So this is what you can get, and you can add a video when you're in creator mode versus just having a profile photo.
Yep.
Yeah, but what's your thoughts? First impression?
Oh, I mean, kind of forces to grab your attention. I agree. He's taking advantage of the marketing, the free marketing in the banner. I like the little icon. It says, "Hey, I'm not taking myself too seriously," to be honest, with the little picture. The video thing, honestly, whatever you put in the video part, it's going to grab someone's attention. So anything that can hold a person's attention a little bit more. The thing that will, potentially like keep him from getting some messages or whatever is that he has said, "This is what I do." So it may limit him to being, reached out to for certain things, whereas other profiles might be a little bit more broad and say, "Hey, I could be contacted for this, this, and this." But that's his MO. That's his forte. Yep. And it's kind of like, hey, that's what you should contact him about. So it kind of just depends on what he's going for. But he's got great colors. I mean, he's got color patterns, it looks like here. There's a lot of information that he's taking advantage of. Yep. And not just saying, "Hey, talk to me." It's like, I'm already offering some information and some insights basically on how we can be valuable partners right there. So I think he's done a good job of taking advantage of what this profile can let him do and then putting that out there for sure. And he's owning it. And I know he put that policy back out there a couple of weeks ago, and somebody had kind of ripped him up, and he even owned that. And he was like, "Yeah, somebody ripped me up for that, but here's what I do." He put that back out there, and I thought that was great.
Yep. Yeah, I love Stuart. I love the work you're doing. I think your profile is awesome. I love how you even have in here, like, how can I help you for just like download the security policy cheat sheet. I would encourage individuals that are watching this, add color. And that was an area like about section. I don't even think I have color, but it helps. I know Jerry does. And it breaks everything up, and it really draws in the reader to know like what the specific headlines, because you can't do a lot of, like, you can't do bold and change the font. Yep. So use the color. This is great, Stuart. Great example of what a right profile would look like. Yeah.
I agree.
Very much like
very active, very vibrant. He's a super active guy on there. So he does a good job of using this really well.
100%. Okay. We're going to run over time unless they kick us out of this room. We're going to keep going, everyone. We're going to keep going. Yeah, we're just going to keep, because we got cut off at 45. We're going to keep on going. We've got 33 people in here, and I still got some profiles. And I want to hit everybody that's in the chat because you showed up today, and it's the least I can do. So let's make sure we get you all taken care of. So Jordan Stroud, really active. Also somebody that reached out to me with a really like customized direct message, and we've been chatting ever since. And I just can't say enough about Jordan, but I love the look and feel. What's your first thoughts on this?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's no denying what he's going for here, I would say, based on the top, unless, you scroll down and does that line up with what the rest of the profile actually says, from the top. We talked about it earlier, though, with the whole concept of a student. Technically, every single person should have that up there, a cybersecurity student. Every one of us should probably have that, no matter what level you're at. But if he is showing that he's a student, and I am clicking on profiles and I'm looking for a 1 to 2 year person, and I see student right off the bat, there is a chance that I don't even scroll. And I don't even mean that necessarily for me personally, but just knowing the life and the mindset of a recruiter. If I see student, I may not even consider it if it's a 1 to 2 year job. Whereas if I'm scrolling down and I'm seeing some more content because I didn't see student, that might actually create a bigger opportunity for me to engage with that person. So I would say it's not anything wrong with it. I wouldn't tell him to take that down. Just know that that does run the risk mathematically of eliminating people from wanting to reach out to you.
That's a really, really good point. Yeah, I do like how, so my suggestion for this area though, your name's already here, Jordan. Maybe try to find like a passion area. Next sessions are now starting. Okay, next sessions are okay, cool. Well, there's a next session now starting, but we're not jumping ship over here. If you guys want to stay, it's all up to you. We're going to keep going until we get kicked out. So if the screen just like suddenly goes black, it's because they shut us off. I don't know. Tom's going to be like, what is going on over there? But yeah,
I'm used to shutting places down. It's okay.
Yeah, they're like, Jax is not, she is still going out. Yeah, I would change this. Like, they already know your name. Like, I love the background. It is clean. But put what your passion project is. Like, say something else here. I don't know what that is, but yeah, I might tweak that. And I personally would remove student. I just wouldn't want to pigeonhole yourself there. Get to the interview. Don't put yourself there, because it puts you in a different category. Like, pay everything. You're in like that other category you don't want to be in my opinion. I do like that he's creator mode. He's got the features, his activities, and then we've got your about section, which is it's filled out, which is good. Yeah.
Yeah, look at that first. Go back up to activity. Look at that first activity where it says, "Wow," the post that he's got.
Yep.
Wow, yesterday was an excellent day. An exciting day. Just being able to see that post is there. I want to click and be like, great. I want to be able to see what this person's kind of going through. Should be very proud of these accomplishments. We know the transition and whatnot is not easy. So every little accomplishment, if it's something that we know the imposter syndrome is running rampant and still getting worse. It's contagious, but own your little wins. And I think it's great to see people feeling proud of that.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, I love that. Good work, Jordan. Glad you let us review profile. All right, let's get into the next one. Also individual. I think you're still in here, Shane. I know you said you might make it, but love that you connected with me. We've recently connected. I actually reached out to him specifically to see if he would let me do a review, and he said yes. But yeah, first thought. What's your thoughts on this profile?
Well, it just looks like he's probably getting started, I would say. 2 mutual connections.
Yeah.
You see some activity, though, over the last few days on LinkedIn. Obviously, the banner is, not really a banner. It looks like something that, I would probably paint my walls. So I'd say that if it looks like a doctor's office, you probably want to change it. But I think that that's an opportunity for him to kind of show something on the security side if he's looking to go security, because the title just says menu database coordinator. To be honest, I don't know what that is. And if I'm a cybersecurity recruiter, if I see that and I have no idea what it is, and it's a title that has nothing to do with what I'm looking for, may not click the profile. Because like you said, when you're scrolling through, if Shane applies and I'm going through all my applicants, I do not see anything other than Shane Himes, menu database coordinator. Yep. Now I'm from Virginia. I might reach out to the guy just because I'm a former VA boy, and I'm always going to be a VA boy. But if people don't care about Virginia, that he might not get a note. I would definitely advise updating the banner to show something to do with your target, the security, your interest, and then expand on that title. Maybe keep menu database coordinator. I would say get rid of Morrison Healthcare unless you're targeting healthcare organizations for cybersecurity jobs. And then you can show people that you have that background that can be valuable. But otherwise, I would expand on things you're training for, or skills or position titles, the types of things that you're actually really interested in going for.
Yeah, because you got Morrison Healthcare. You have it right here. They're going to have it down below. You could have like a dot, like blue team. I'm guessing menu database coordinator is probably blue team. I don't know. You could have blue team and then maybe X years of experience as a program manager or something like that. But yeah, definitely. I think this is a really good start. This is a very clean profile, and it's a great place to kind of launch. It's a launch pad. You definitely, I don't see an about section. Yeah. So I would definitely get that about section filled out. So he doesn't have that yet. But it's
absolutely gotta have it. If you don't have the experience and you're trying to break in, the about section is literally maybe all you have. They put certs and training and stuff a lot of times at the very bottom, and people may not even scroll to it. So yeah, definitely get that about section, especially look at his second post where it's talking about, I discovered a passion and interest in blue team. Like that, you put that post, turn that post into an about section. He could probably copy and paste that literally and make that his about section, and that will tell the story. I like 100%. That already.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, we're wrapping it up, Tom. We are, promise. We've got a couple more. I want to make sure we take care of everybody that's in here. If you guys want to leave, you guys can leave. We're not holding anybody captive, we swear. All right, so Kaylin. So I don't think Kaylin's here, but I want to knock hers out because I did reach out to her to ask her specifically for hers, and I wanted to give her a little hand. She's a veteran. She reached out to have some mentorship in this space. So I'm always kind of a little like, I don't know about the open for work, but from a recruiter's perspective, like, what is your first thoughts when you see this profile?
Man, that's such a great question. I have people that say, I don't want to look desperate. I don't want to be embarrassed. Like, I feel like icky putting it out that everybody knows. And honestly, if you feel that way, that's okay. If you don't feel that way, that's okay. I don't ever look at an open to network banner and think that's a desperate person. Now, however, I typically advise people to just put let recruiters know. The only problem is that if you only put let recruiters know, that person has to have basically a 10K plus LinkedIn recruiter license to see that you are working and are networking and are looking to network. So if there's a lot of small companies out there with hiring managers that are doing the recruiting, they're not going to have it. They're going to have to find people like Kaylin who might openly be doing it. But at the same time, I would, if you had to say put it on or don't put it on, I would usually say, no, don't put it on. But it does grab attention, in my opinion. And it does say, hey, I'm open to connect with. So I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with it, but usually I would say no if I had to pick one.
Okay. I agree with you. That's how I feel too. I think it just puts you out there as like, not desperate, but in a way, individuals look at you and I feel like they see that and they can lowball you even on a salary is my mindset of how I've heard people that have that. So I don't like it. I like to let recruiters know it's a setting that you can set up in LinkedIn. Reach out to us if you all have issues with that. Joe and I can help you with that.
I agree with that, yeah.
I also think having military police officer at U.S. Navy, if you're, my opinion, if you're trying to get into cybersecurity, I would change that. I would put that probably last, have it in there, but I'd move program analyst, incident response to the first.
Agreed. Yeah, and space it out a little bit more, get the the straight line. I don't know what it is. I put it on mine too. I mean, like I like the straight line. Every email that I actually send, it's space, straight line. I don't even know what the thing's called, and then hunt source. But just from a separating factor, it's not a big adjustment, but something that will allow me to read it a little easier. And I agree. Military police officer, that there's no way someone is going to read that and not be able to come up with an idea of what they think that persona is going to be or what that job is. That's a very unique job. That's a very unique background and profession that I would expect to require a certain amount of grit and resilience and thick skin and honestly bravery and adaptability. So there's some good things that come with it, but it also, if you're trying to go cybersecurity, there's a lot of jobs that probably just got wiped out for a lot of recruiters based on that job title.
Yeah, because when I see this, I see military police as her primary, what she does, not the other thing. So definitely, I would, and then when you come down here to about, it doesn't tell the same story. Physical security manager, living 10 years of experience in threat analysis and risk management. Yeah, I'd flip those. I think this is a great start to your about. I definitely beef it up a little bit more, get some more information in there, and then get a little bit more active within the activity page because you don't have a lot of activity out there yet.
Yep, absolutely. I agree, though. You could take some of that stuff from about, and that could replace the words at the top. It could say threat analysis, risk mitigation, incident response, and it's getting people to look at it because you've said it before. I mean, you're trying to get people to click your profile. That's it. Read my profile, click my profile, and then maybe send me a message. But if we're not clicking the profile, then you're not getting a message.
Yep. 100. Okay. 100%. All right, let's keep moving. Tom just hopped in chat earlier, so he knows we're still going. But it's okay. Like I said, you guys can leave at any time, hop into the other sections. We're going to try to get through these, probably go for a little bit longer. If you're good with it, Joe, and keep going, we'll keep going.
I'm totally good. I have to go babysit other people's kids as soon as I leave, so we can go all day.
I love it. All right. So, Michael, I don't know how to say your last name, but awesome last name. So we've got Michael. I think you're still in chat. Thank you for sharing this. So yeah, what's your first thoughts? Boom.
Well, you see the MBA and the CISSP, hits you right in the face. I think that those are good things to have. I see, the picture in the background. It could look like Armageddon is coming, so I'm not sure necessarily what going for there. But I mean, there's no necessarily rules. I mean, I'm not sure what that is. So I think that could be changed. You see Air Force right off the bat. You see, university, SUNY University. Yep. People are familiar. We see the New York. The picture, I don't know how accurate that is. To be honest, he looks kind of like a lawyer. That looks like a law firm type of picture. And if that's the persona he wants to put off, I'm a very serious person that comes to work dressed up, ready to rock every day, and I can really manage things. He's got that down. I would definitely vote for this guy in the next election based on his picture. But if that's not what he's going for, I would recommend adjusting the picture because that does look like very professional. I am not going to poo-poo on a really professional, good-looking picture like that. But what is that the message he's trying to say?
Yeah.
So that's the way. That's just like a soft interpretation, basically. It's crazy if it's 2022 and we're like looking down on people that get really dressed up in pictures. Not going to do that. I think it's a good looking picture, but not sure how accurate it is for who Michael is.
Yeah, no, I love that. A good point. Yeah, you see a different, like Meryl had, a not like she had a tank top on. And I think that
Mm-hmm.
LinkedIn has gotten more relaxed where you can have more personality within your photos. But if this is, I will tell you, 2019, I had a super professional suit photo, the half turn, the side look. But since then, mine's a lot more playful. So yeah, play it up, show your character, like personality, I mean. And then for this right here, he's got information systems security manager. I would
Mm-hmm.
also add a couple of other things in there, like fill this up there. You can actually have like 3 lines of data in there, Michael. So I would add your military as one of the last things. I would add, what did I have in the master class? Do you guys remember? What was it right here? Good rule of thumb, keywords for your role, industry,
Mm-hmm.
and unique value. So show your unique value here, Michael. Like that's what I would do. I would
Agreed.
add just a little bit more.
Agreed. That kind of one phrase there, it's fine, but it's fine.
Mhm.
That's it. And I think that you are limiting what people can interpret you as. I mean, that can be is that it? Just an InfoSec security manager. That's all there is about you. You know what I mean? Like there could be an opportunity for more, especially if that is, who he is, if he feels like he is more than that, there's nothing necessarily wrong with it, but I agree. You can add a little bit to that.
Yep, 100%. And then going down to about, I like this. It tells the story. I'm always about beefing it up. You have a ton of space in here, but this is good. Ensuring the integration, like talks about integration of cybersecurity into, and then going through what it does, what he does. So I think this
Mm-hmm.
is good.
Good.
Talks about his clearance, having that in there. And then activity. You've been active. When was the last
Yep.
time? 17 hours ago. So yeah, that's
Yesterday.
good. Yep.
And look at the comment too. He didn't just say great presentation. He said, I
Yep.
got a few pointers. He's really actually at least putting himself out there again. But those little things, recruiters see it. And we
Yep.
see it a lot. I see so many people that I've reached out to over the years because I just see them being nice to other people and giving some thought on LinkedIn. And I'm like, hey, really great to see your name pop up every week on everybody's posts. That energy, keep it going.
Yeah.
What do you need? What can I do to help? I just love seeing it. So good for Michael.
Same here. Oh my God, I love stuff like that. All right, Kevin, we're getting to you now. This one's, I don't even know. Kevin, yours is going to be amazing. What are we talking about?
Yeah,
Okay.
really.
Yeah, like Kevin, come on. Really? Kev Tech. This is Kev Tech, everybody over here. So,
Mm-hmm.
first thoughts on Kevin.
Well, getting the chance to talk to Kevin in the past and just knowing that this is a really genuine giver and a genuine hard worker and someone that also has oftentimes put himself second for a lot of other people through his content. But you see a YouTube click right off the bat. You know that this is a content person. There's more to see for Kevin. I
Yeah.
want to go scroll down. What is going on? Anybody that's creating YouTube content to me is a personality. The first thing you want to work with is a personality. First thing you want to hire is a personality.
Mm-hmm.
And it's impossible to get that from a LinkedIn profile most of the time, unless you see someone's very active like that. And so seeing that YouTube button right off the bat, I don't know if the aesthetics or whatnot or, what everybody would advise, but I love seeing that and knowing, okay, there's more to Kevin. I got to go keep scrolling.
100%. Yeah. Kevin is awesome. Yeah, everybody definitely follow
Mm-hmm.
him. Got his featured sections down here. Um, and then right into activity. I don't see Kevin. I don't see. Oh, there we are. There we are. About. Let's
Mm-hmm.
see. Yep. And remember on about what I said, SEO. This is way like people will be recruiters are looking for keywords. This helps like
Keywords.
this, all these keywords. Boom, 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 boom. That's awesome. I would maybe spice it up with some color. I think color is awesome, but yeah, I think you're doing a
Mm-hmm.
great job, Kevin. Yeah,
Yeah,
you've
the
got
keywords they carry so much weight with how the people are found. I think on some of the profiles we've seen so far today, a lot of the people they don't have the content in their jobs because their jobs aren't connected to what they're trying to go for. So
yeah,
you could put the buzzwords in, but you're actually going to probably get more notes that are not the people that you want to get notes from. They're people that are, hey, I'm looking for a menu data
yeah,
coordinator or whatnot, and you're like, dang it, I didn't want to do that. But no, Kevin's profile, I mean, he's got so much activity. You see how many followers he has too. You
yeah,
don't have that many followers unless people think you've got something worthy to say.
yeah,
So I think that he's done a great job of leveraging LinkedIn in conjunction with his other social media sites and his ways of getting his content out there. But the fact that he even was offering to share his profile today, knowing that he's got that following, knowing that he's got this like great background, he's still looking to advance and get better.
yeah.
He wouldn't have offered it up.
Yeah.
So that's a great approach too. You can never get stagnant or complacent with your profile.
No, and you guys remember me saying that you can put a link in your intro area when you move to creator mode. That's what this is. So he can actually have that link to send individuals to his very robust YouTube channel. So I'm all about creator mode. Okay, so we've got a couple more. Clifton, I'm getting to yours. Thanks for dropping yours in there for us to be able to review. So, yeah, I'm not 100% know what's going on with this banner right here, but yeah, Joe, what's your thoughts? First impression.
That same thing. I've actually not looked at his face yet. I haven't looked at his name yet. I'm looking at, what am I looking at? And so there could be something significant of that. If that is significant, use the about section to explain. You might even put something up there. And then the first line of your about is, were you confused when you looked at my picture? Here's why I chose this. That could be significant for him. Security plus, I would change the word plus to a plus sign. I just think it helps stand out a little bit more. I do like that he put veteran in there. We talked about the open to network symbol, on the banner before. No problem if he wants to put it. Cybersecurity specialist, to me, I saw this on another company's page where they were giving the compensation for a cybersecurity specialist. And I was like, I've been doing this for 5 years. I don't know what the heck that is. I have no idea what that means. So to me, that says that says nothing to me. It really doesn't. It says you like cybersecurity, but what is your interest in it? There's a lot of pockets. So, missing the opportunity to really say, this is what you should be contacting me about. If he's wide open about it, put a couple of different things, but cybersecurity enthusiast with interest in whatever, and you put the different sections. But cybersecurity specialist is so generic. I think it's tough to see that as valuable.
Yeah, and he has information technology program manager. There is the about system administrator. I would even put that up there as a system administrator. And then maybe cybersecurity, maybe just not aspiring. We don't want to use that, but cybersecurity analyst more than specialist, because there's cybersecurity analyst roles out there. So yeah, I think you could definitely, I would actually move veteran down to this section, not up here. And if you want to keep security plus, the plus sign, I like that. Keeping that there. It's just like having a cert, how individuals have the certs following. And I would update this. I would put something here. And as we said earlier, I would remove open for work unless it's been super helpful for him. And then I would just make it where you can let recruiters know what you're looking for. And then you start getting jobs specifically within those filter. And there's awesome. I did it last year just to see. I actually used to use the feature to help when I would have mentors say, hey, I'm looking for this, or mentees, I'm looking for these particular roles. I would actually do that. So recruiters would reach out to me with jobs, and then I would push them to my mentees. So it does work.
That's good to know. That sort of information is really helpful to share with people. If you're seeing an increase in it, you also already have such a presence as well. So you have the benefit of having that open to network along with some algorithm that's going to say Jack Scott should be showing up in a lot of searches and profiles. But I mean, his picture looked really friendly and happy. He's addressed his longstanding U.S. Air Force experience, which I think is great. And I do agree, systems administrator, you can put that in there. There's a lot of security jobs that stem from that role. There's nothing. In fact, to me, that gives me some more confidence that this guy's got some good, just basic technical chops that are needed that people are complaining they can't find anymore. Out there. So I think it's overall, and I see the open to work, see all details, the different types of roles he specified. Yeah. I think that's good that shows up.
100%. All right, let's go. Let's keep going. We're going to try to get through the rest of you all, and then we're going to drop. So Matthew Jones. What's your first impression?
Well, he took a picture of some place that somebody works and sits and gets things done. I don't know what the value necessarily is of that, but it's a interesting photo, and I'm not, I'm not a judge of the content of that photo, but I think, again, that is an opportunity to at least just show something that you are, it's relevant for what you're going for overall. But so hiring our heroes, I love seeing that. When you see things like corporate fellowship candidate cohort 23-1, that is such a small population of people that have any idea what that is. So you're limiting yourself to an audience that maybe there is a very targeted audience that you want to be part of. Keep that there if that is your audience. hiring for our heroes, I think, is a great thing to have up. But that fellowship candidate cohort, that's to me not top of your page worthy. Put that somewhere else. That actually could be very confusing and potentially even a turnoff for some people that have no idea what that means. I'm sure it's like, I don't know necessarily what cohort 23-1 is.
I have no idea. Yeah.
Right. So totally just not something that you need to have, especially if it's taking up another line, but put something there that's like the skill sets or whatnot that you're most interested in or what you do. I think even he's already got U.S. Army banner up there, so he doesn't have to put veteran, so.
Yep. And then, drop that. I would drop that in your about section down here. I like he's built out his about section, so I think it's good. Won't go through all of it. But first, you remember, recruiters are going to look at the first line or two. I'm a multi-level focus leader, a military veteran with an active clearance, 12 years proven experience. So this doesn't tell me anything right now within cybersecurity. I maybe I manage risk upon multiple lines to protect it. I might shift this, but just remember those first two lines are going to be the big hitters to draw in the reader. Right now, this just tells me that you're military. You do a lot of stuff in the military. Right. So I might spice that and move that around a little bit.
Yeah, I don't see the word security mentioned once in any of those 3 paragraphs. So if security is the goal, if that's a focus, one of those paragraphs needs to be nothing but security. The stuff you've done, the stuff you're currently interested in or studying for, whatever it is that is relevant for the security. If he's not really going for security, then that's fine. But to have 3 paragraphs is already quite a bit of content. I love it. But to not have security mentioned once in those 3 paragraphs, another swing and a miss, I would say.
Yep. You've got some activity. This is good. Like this one right here. Very, you can tell that it's a long post. Talking about completing a Security Plus course. So I think this is very good. And then right into your experience and everything that's built out. Yeah. I would definitely tweak that. So, all right, let's jump into, we've got I think 2 or 3 more. We're going to get through these.
One thing I will say about his profile, even with that picture and then also his photo, that does not scream military profile to me, which I think is probably an okay, good thing because it opens up other options. It doesn't scream that to me. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing by any means, but I'm saying if you want to go and break into the private sector, for example, we all know some of the stigmas or some of the the things that people think. So watering down the military on your profile, if you want to go into the corporate world, should be a priority, in my opinion.
I agree with you on that. Yeah, that's a really good point. That's why I say get rid of the military photo. Do not use a military photo. If you want to, and that's the best photo of you, cool. But I think you can definitely tweak it. Lester, I love Lester's. I love his blue banner. He really customized his headshot. I really like the banner. I mean, Lester's got over 13,000. So first impression of his profile.
Well, funny enough, you talked about that blue circle. There have been many profiles that I've seen with these circle things over the years, and I've actually clicked and been like, what is that?
Yeah.
And it just got me to click. It got me to look at the profile, and it turned out, nope, they just put a circle. And I actually think it's wonderful. It really centralizes the face. It makes his profile stand out. The top banner, it says, follow me to learn more.
Yeah.
This says, hey, this isn't just a picture. This is something that is actually inviting you in. And it's not saying contact me about jobs. It's saying, hey, I got stuff to offer you as well.
Yep.
So, no, I think that within what he's done, I mean, this is a profile that says, I know what I'm doing. And it says I'm very active on here, but it also says I've done and do some pretty serious stuff. When you see things like crisis exercises, that's not a term you see a lot overall.
Yep.
So his profile, I think, is very sharp. Even talking about personal branding, it doesn't just say he's doing cybersecurity stuff. This is someone that you can talk to about existing on here successfully.
Oh yeah, this action item. I'm going to actually, Lester, I'm taking this from you. I'm going to do this. This is brilliant. Click the bell to be notified. That is brilliant because people don't realize there's a bell right there and he's got it lined up where the bell is. It's brilliant. I really love this. A lot of action items. He's got a Who Am I link that you can check out. And then obviously he's featured. He's got his activities. And then he's got his about. And he's actually he's changed some of the font right here. And he's using these little dashes. And it's kind of broken up. So it's not big paragraphs, which is a lot easier. A lot of people, majority of people, I think it's 75% of people engage LinkedIn on their phone. So having it broken out like this makes it a lot easier for people to read versus those big paragraphs.
Absolutely. That's a great point. It really is the activity on the phones. Most of my
Yeah.
activity is definitely from my phone when
Yeah.
I'm, sitting in traffic, something like that. But now his profile has got great content, and I agree the way that it's expanded. The bell thing, when you pointed that out earlier in this video, I definitely realized like that's not something that I've talked about or even thought about a lot, and it's such a extra bonus thing that you should be doing. It
Absolutely.
makes no sense not to. So yeah, great looking profile overall.
Love it, Lester. Thanks for letting us review yours. All right, couple more. We're gonna get through these quick. Dalton. So yeah, first impression. I mean, I like the American flag, but it tells me probably you're a veteran, is what I'm thinking when I see that.
Yeah, I mean, anybody though that's gonna like talk down on that banner is gonna get canceled.
Yeah,
Pretty much. I think it's a. I think if that is how he feels and that's what he's most proud of, then keep that there like that. The color of it is drawing, and I think it
yeah,
contrasts well with his photo. Again, I'm not a graphic designer, but overall pictures together look good.
yeah,
Cybersecurity professional. I'd capitalize the P. I know that that's the smallest of details, but I just think in banners capitalize, each of the
yeah.
letters or each of the words. Tech junkie, transitioning veteran. That right there to me is an important thing to have. Transitioning, because if you are looking to make the move, first of all, there's a lot of people that understand how hard that is to transition. In fact, I think it was one of the first lines of your like forward or the quote that you picked for the beginning of your masterclass or the book, the master plan book, is that transitioning for veterans is hard, And so putting transitioning veteran to me is saying to people, hey, there's an invitation for you to connect. I'm sure I've been through it or whatnot. Like I haven't done it, but as a recruiter, I respect and appreciate the weight that goes into the transition. And
Yeah.
seeing that right there, I have written so many people over the years because I saw they were going through the transition and saying, hey, you may not need me whatsoever. But on the other side, if you're looking to go private sector or corporate world, maybe you've got some questions. I'm happy to help. And it's because I saw the transitioning word. And that
Yeah.
says to me, you're inviting someone to help. So I really like the things that he put up there on the top, to be honest.
I agree. Yeah, I think it's really nice and formatted, Dalton. My only recommendation is just using this space, putting maybe a little bit more info in there, maybe have an
Mm-hmm.
action item like Lester where it says follow me and hit the bell for
Mm-hmm.
notifications. I love that. I'm taking that.
Mm-hmm.
Featured. I love that you're utilizing the featured. And then your about section. Let's look at this. Yeah. So
Yeah.
first glance, I would probably say like spice it up a little bit more, but I like how you have it broken down into smaller chunks. Yeah.
Yep. I agree. Active top secret security clearance with a
Yep.
period. It's kind of like, I agree. You could probably spice it up a little bit, but overall, very easy to read and scan. I like that he's got an expansion on the content. The thing is, people that work on the private sector side, and for everybody that doesn't know my background, I don't do any work on the government side or any kind of government contracts. I do all private sector, corporate world stuff. And there's a lot of great opportunities for veterans to transition. And the thing is, a lot of times the skills that you would think don't apply are the best skills. The things that you think are, oh, they're not going to look for that. When I see that you've gone to multiple countries and you've helped build teams, you've helped coordinate different types of operations that 95% of the population could never even imagine, that at least says to me, this is someone that's got some grit and they've got the ability to get into a cyber environment and absolutely crush it. So I do love that he expanded on some of the content of what he's actually done in the
Yeah.
military. To a non-military person too, a lot of that stuff's just fascinating, and you want to hear about those stories. So, and I see Dalton's over in Fort Bragg. Dalton, I'll be heading out there in about an hour. So I'll be there. If you want to come help babysit, just give me a shout.
Yeah, good old. And now Fort Bragg's getting named like Fort Freedom or something like that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's due to just not political sensitivity, something else. You guys know. We won't get into that. But anyway, all right. So we've got a couple more. We're getting through this. I know some more people have dropped in there. We're probably going to be wrapping soon though. So Anora, I think. Yeah. First impression. Go.
Well, it's interesting. We're going back to the American flag, and I'm going to say something
Yeah.
right now that I hope does not come across as unprofessional or unpolitically correct. But this is obviously not a typical American name, right? And when
Mhm.
you have a non-typical American name, you are absolutely, I'm sure people have felt the stigma. They felt discarded by recruiters at times. And I hear it. I hear people saying these things. Here, having an American flag actually plays a different role when you have that type of name. And I know that's a weird dynamic to consider, but for 7 years of recruiting, I've heard stigmas in offices and people talking, and I've seen people post, and I've heard candidates say things that are off-putting. Right there, having an American flag with a name like that, I know it's an interesting combination and topic, but to me, I think that's a good combination. And
Yeah.
when you see some of the banner stuff at the top, Army veteran, MBA candidate, George Washington University cloud support engineer, covered the job, covered a lot about his background and why he would have an American flag up there. MBA candidate at GW, no slouch. This
Yeah.
is a person that is obviously done some things, seen some things, and is still going.
Yeah.
And is still really trying to evolve. So I love the overall profile. I do think that always with that banner you were talking about, you can use that as a way to talk more, show more about specifically what you're doing, and what you're trying to do. But 500 plus connections, 79 mutual. This person's got some activity there. You see AWS on the banner at the top. I mean, anybody that gets a job at AWS has at least been through 49 interviews, so
Yes.
they're resilient. And
True.
so I think there's a lot of good things going on at the top overall, and overall the picture is very inviting and friendly too.
Yeah, and I also like it, like immediately goes into actively working to build a civilian cloud and cybersecurity career. I would kind of tweak this a little bit and show that like currently working in the cloud and cybersecurity, like don't talk about actively working to build it. Like you're already there. You're in AWS, tell that recruiter like you're there, you're building it out, maybe expanding your knowledge, something around like continuously learning, something like that. But I might tweak this a little bit, build
I
this out
agree.
a little bit more, but I think this is
Focusing
good.
on building skills
Yeah,
instead of the
yep,
career, building the skills that actually organically
yep.
build your career. Actively, working on or improving my civilian cloud knowledge within the cybersecurity environments, as opposed to my career itself. But I mean, there's nothing too wrong with that at all. But I like what you're saying there, a little bit more focus. And right there, no real content. It doesn't look like under the experience. Is that right? In the
No, you've
jobs.
just got, yeah. So you could
Yep.
do a drop down, put a little bit more in here, some keywords for what you do, not a resume, but just like what does the cloud support engineer require? What does that look like? What does your day-to-day
Mm-hmm.
activity look like? This one
Yep.
has it built
Buzzword.
out. These haven't built out. You definitely have the experience. It's shown. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Um,
think for sure could expand a little bit on the buzzwords there, just for a reminder that those are what help people find your profile.
Yep, 100%. All right, two more and that's it. We're doing this one and one more. We're done. Oh man, that was not I copied this incorrectly, I guess. Whoa, here we go.
And by the way, anybody that volunteered to have their profile roasted today, thank you very much. And please feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn, and I'm absolutely happy to help. You put yourself out there like this. That's no small thing. So if you need
Yeah,
any help, if you have any questions and you think I might be able to help, please connect with me and send me a whatever questions you got. Thank you for volunteering.
I love that. Yeah, I'll share your LinkedIn really quick. So, yep, Camille, what's your first thoughts on his profile?
Well, is he a candidate, for the MPS first and foremost in his life, or is he a risk management and foreign policy professional? I think that's up to him for what he wants to put. But I think that when you say that you're a candidate for something, that just says I'm not where I want to be yet. And I think that overall, when you're scanning profiles, if I read that, however someone might interpret it, they might think that's a student, or something like that. I don't know what they're going to think. So may not lead out with that, but overall, the rest of it, strategic thinking. I mean, that is a generic phrase that can be defined in so many different ways that, I have to strategically think every time my wife is like, hey, how does that taste? I'm like, strategically here. Bent the heck out of that chicken. What's my strategy? No, she's an incredible cook. But my point is like strategic thinking happens so many different ways and times. It doesn't really help that profile, in my opinion. So you could probably just erase that.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I would get rid of that. I would also, Camille, I would spice this up. I'm just all about using this platform. Maybe because you have like the bell option. So again, I'm taking Lester's idea, put an action item here for individuals to like contact you or contact. You could even, I just thought of this, put here where reach out to me for blue team opportunities because I know you're working in the GRC space and list it here. Tell them to action, make this the like action item. So Moving down to activities, you haven't posted lately. I would definitely start like even
Yep.
resharing posts. And then I don't see your about section. So, yep, you need to get your about section filled out. Put that in there. Talk about what you're doing, your experience. Yeah.
Yeah, this is an international background, it looks like,
Yeah,
with
it
some
is.
really cool, probably chapters of the story. I find a
Mhm.
lot of interest in this profile that makes me want to know more about the transitions that Camilo has made. Some of the risks and some of the decisions that I see teaching assistant, me being a teaching right there. That's great. I would want to talk and learn more about that stuff, but that doesn't say anything about, what he's trying to get going towards, in my opinion. Also, yeah, the lack of activity, the activity just showing what you're reading, showing what you're
Yeah.
commenting on, doesn't necessarily even matter what you're saying. It's what are you actually looking at, reading, and involved in. If I see that you've shared 3 or 4 posts on different foreign policy, different updates to some of these frameworks or some of these different things that
Mhm.
companies are trying to push out with privacy laws, et cetera, I know that you're reading that stuff. I can actually even come up with some small talk items with you just based on your post activity.
Yep. Yeah. Just getting more engagement. Camille, reach out to me if you need help. Joe's profile's up there as well. All right,
Yep.
let's do Odenell. Odenell. I hope that's how I said it correctly. All right. So Odenell, interesting photo. Definitely looks technology based. All right, Joe, first impression.
I would say that picture says this person, if that's a multitasker, for sure. But
Yeah.
that's the second or the third we've seen, of just photos of laptops and whatnot. And I feel like that could be just like a one off, and you just figure I got to put something up there. That doesn't really carry any weight, but it's at least showing that this is maybe a tinkerer, maybe someone that likes to work and live in the lab, so to speak. So background in intel, air crew, and deterrence, transitioning into technology. First word is transitioning, again, used
Yep.
differently than when we said transitioning veteran as opposed to transitioning into technology. Where are you transitioning from?
Mhm.
I think get rid of that. Just
Yeah.
put software development, networking, cloud, and security. Sec
Yep.
plus. Studying for CCNA, don't need that there.
Mhm.
I would get rid of studying for CCNA there. You put
Yeah.
CCNA at the top. You don't put what you're studying for in
Yeah.
the top. You can put it somewhere else in your profile. But
Mhm.
here's the also other kicker is if you put that you're studying for something, you better have your answer to a T of where you are in that process. And multiple times I've talked to people and I say, hey, I see you're going for your OSCP or your CISSP. How's that going? How long have you been doing that? Oh, about a year and a half, 2 years. Take that off right now. That says
Yeah.
to me that you are not dedicated, that you have reasons and excuses for not getting it done. And you're totally going to rule yourself out with that answer just
Yeah. That's a
alone.
good
So
point.
get rid of it. So if you have studying for, it better be recent, and you better have like I'm testing very shortly around the corner, something like that.
Yeah. That's a really, really good point. I would also put your Sec Plus, if you're certified, put it next to your name.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then we've got your activity. So you are active within the last hour, within the last 13 hours. You do have a little bit of posts. They're not super robust, but you've got activity. And then I don't see an about page. So as you've
Mm-hmm.
heard us already say, fill that about page out. Get that going.
Yep. That's where you'd say
Um,
you're studying for the CCNA, and why are you studying for the CCNA?
Bingo.
Yeah.
Yeah, super good point. All right, one more just because Patrick dropped it in there. We're done after this, folks. Can't take any more. So, and I think, Patrick, you had actually asked a question above as well about adding, God, what was it? Retiring. I think somebody asked a question. I thought it was you, Patrick. It said, what do you think about adding retired veterans? So, but first, Joe, first impression of this profile.
Definitely owns what he's good at.
Yeah,
With the picture, I would imagine.
yeah,
I'm not an HVAC inspector. I'm
yeah,
not. But to me, I would think that that's a picture that's tied to his current job, or maybe he's looking to do OT type security. I'm not sure. I mean, the picture is a pretty picture, but I don't know how it's relevant for what he's trying to do. And I just think that that's more important than what it is that you are doing if you're trying to go the security route. His
yeah.
top banner where he's talking about, like I said, he owns it. I think that that's a better place to not put a sentence. It's a place to
Mhm.
put subtitles and things that are more aligned with what you're trying to do overall. But
Yeah.
yeah, so definitely a couple tweaks can be made. And the picture overall, I can't really tell what that picture is. It looks like maybe he's on a walk or on a run.
Yeah, I don't.
Um, which
Yeah.
that's okay. I mean, it's showing a personal thing, but like weather tech,
Speedway. or something. Yeah.
So maybe there's something like there's nothing wrong with that.
Like it.
It's showing somebody different, but you're not really showing you probably yourself in the security light or whatever it is that you're trying to
Yeah.
do. I don't have a problem with it, but I would say it's not what I would deem a professional photo that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, it's Speedway. Yeah, I was like, it looks like a Speedway. Yeah, like Joe said, my first impression is this is like very much like a Facebook or like an Instagram photo, kind of a
Mhm.
profile. Tweaking it where you don't have to be in a suit, but you could even use Canva. I think it's a paid version, but you could like remove the background where it takes away that you're at a speedway or something like that. Yeah, it is friendly. Like I get a friendly vibe, but I would definitely
Mhm.
tweak it. If you're trying to break into cybersecurity, though, you're gonna need to update this into a way of like getting it, because right now this tells recruiters you're an HVAC, and this is the type of job that you're going to get recruiters that are going to be approaching you for, not
All day, every day.
cybersecurity technology jobs. Yeah.
All day, every day. Yeah, and
Yep.
honestly, for most recruiters, though, a picture like that, that is actually a more inviting picture than someone that looks really professional to most recruiters. A lot of recruiters are scared to pick up the phone and reach out to people. And like cybersecurity pros are kind of intimidating to people that haven't gotten really deep into this field and know that the community is so awesome and warm and actually like just phenomenal humans. So a picture like that can be good for the more like junior level recruiters, which is probably what's out there. I mean, I'm turning my hat backwards as soon as we get off camera today, but I probably wouldn't put a picture of
Yeah.
myself with my hat backwards as my profile picture, to be honest.
Yeah, and I'm going to ask a question right after we wrap your review, Patrick, on somebody else asking a similar question on the post you just said. But let's get this wrapped up really quick. So we've got activity. You have a little bit, but just within the last 2 months, and it's not a whole lot. So I would definitely like get some more
Mm-hmm.
activity. And then I don't see an about. So
Yep,
definitely need to work on that about, and maybe even spicing up like you've got education, you've got your experiences, but there's nothing underneath it. But it's all within maintenance. So I think your about is going to be the area that you can have the big hit, like
absolutely.
telling your story. Yeah.
Got to do it. Got to
Yeah.
get an about. A profile like that, you have to have an about. It's maybe the most important part of your page.
Yeah. So quick question, and we're going to quit sharing because we're going to wrap now. But we had two questions on this, more of a statement by Patrick. But, he said, trying not to let my current boss know I want to switch career fields. And I think earlier, somebody, I think it might have been Shane, asked a question like, what do you do when you're trying to switch career fields and you don't want your recruiter or you don't want your bosses to know on LinkedIn? Like, what is your suggestion for that? How can they go about it?
Well, when you're going to set your profile to look, and it'll say like a little thing, it'll say, let recruiters know that you're open, right? You have two choices. It's one, let everybody know, and that's where you get the green banner. The other is let recruiters know. Now, your bosses almost certainly do not have LinkedIn Recruiter. I mean, the chances of your boss having LinkedIn Recruiter is less likely than me dunking a basketball ever again. I mean, it is less than 1%. It's too expensive. And honestly, if you work for a small to mid-sized company, you're also not likely working at a place that has LinkedIn Recruiter. So even an HR or a person that's looking for you is not going to see that you're open. So you don't need to worry about that 95+% of the time. You can also always have open to work and have those jobs selected. Only the recruiters are going to see it. If an internal recruiter comes across you and finds that, they're not going to go run to the boss. If they go run to the boss and say, hey, I saw that they were looking on LinkedIn, the worst thing that's going to happen is your boss is going to come and say, hey, I was notified about that. And you're actually going to get a chance to own the situation to where you can maybe get that anxiety, and your boss might be like, I had a feeling something was up. I've seen you in the books, during lunch and in the
Mhm.
car and reading, and like, what can I help? They could actually be a huge advocate for you,
Yeah.
and say, hey, great, thanks for letting me know. But the chances of this happening are very slim. So I know a lot of people get worried about it, but as long as you click that only you want recruiters to know, I would say less than a 2-3% chance anyone ever finds out. And then even less than that they go take that information and tell your boss. So it's just not something I would think you worry about. Just don't do the green banner,
Yeah.
overall.
What if they have, like, for example, using Patrick as our example, and he has HVAC, but what if he changes it to um pursuing career in cybersecurity or something that we just talked about is a terrible approach. But what if he does that or puts in there cybersecurity analyst and his boss sees it and goes, why do you have your LinkedIn like this? What suggestions would you provide? I mean, I think that you probably work for a toxic culture if they're not supportive of allowing you to pivot. My first impression, but
Yeah.
there's individuals that may run into that and may be afraid of like tweaking their profile to look more technology centric because they're afraid of like the repercussions from their boss.
That's such a great question, and it's so easy for me as a recruiter to be like, oh, if you don't work at a place where they support you, heck with them. But like, I don't pay your bills, and I don't have your daily stress. And like sometimes, yeah, my boss sucks or my environment sucks, but I have to have my job, and that's the daily reality that we live in. I think first and foremost, get on LinkedIn and check out how active your boss is. If your boss is super active on LinkedIn, you are going to make a different decision than if your boss doesn't have a profile or made theirs in like 2002 and has not updated it. You don't have to worry about that stuff so much. If your boss is really active on LinkedIn, you also need to know that they're probably seeing how active you're on LinkedIn during the day you're supposed to be working. So monitor that as well. I think that's the first and foremost thing. I think, though, that at some point you have to rip the Band-Aid and fully commit to it. You can't go half-ass on trying to change a career. You will not change the career or you'll do a poor job. When I changed my career, I freaked out, but I went all in. I didn't even wait an hour. Like I was all in on it. And I still don't remember a lot of it, but I don't have any regrets about going to my principal that day and saying, I'm not going to be teaching next year. She said, what are you going to be doing? I said, I have no idea. I was brushing my teeth this morning, and I know I'm not teaching next year. I can't do this anymore. She was super supportive. She let me take off a couple days to go interview down in Charlotte. Wow. You don't know what to expect. But like, if you think your boss is going to fire you over something like that, you've got to figure out a way to build your profile to a decent way. Talk to Jax, talk to me, talk to other people that are in a similar situation, and then behind the scenes in your messaging and your Discord or wherever else it is that you're going to network. That's where you put most of your time. You're going to have to put yourself out there.
Spot on. And Stuart's cracking me up. He's like, I'm super active on LinkedIn. Yeah, I worked at an organization last year that I actually got laid off because I was too active on LinkedIn. And then they wanted me to only push the company brand, the company stuff. And I wasn't going to do it because I had my own brand. So yeah, and Kevin said it too. Find a company that values you. At the end of the day, you may need to leave jobs if they don't take care of you. So I'm going to leave it on that note. I'm going to end. We're going to do a quick wrap. But before we do, I want to first thank everybody. We've got still 14 people in here that have hung strong. I mean, we went way over. So thank you to VetSecCon for letting us to come in and give this talk. Hope it added value. Make sure to follow Joe and I. Reach out to us. If what we provided today helps you land that job, it would mean the world to us if you let us know how it impacted you and how it's just changed your overall LinkedIn platform. So we would love that. And then Joe, thank you for making the time, going overtime, and just bringing your knowledge to this group because, yeah, you're invaluable. I couldn't have done this without you. So thank you.
Yeah, you could. I'm always learning. I learned things before I even got on camera today from you. So it's my only advice is take all the advice that you get with a little bit of a grain of salt or know how to interpret it for you because you might hear things from me that just don't click with you. There are other recruiters out there that have great advice that might really resonate with you. So expose yourself to content. But when you get someone like Jax that you just want to listen to all day, stick with it and don't let the other people sort of throw you off your direction either.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Joe, you're the best. Enjoy babysitting, and I hope to see everybody else in the other sessions today.
Ready to go. Thank you all for having me. Thanks, Jax. Appreciate it.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.